My name is Bernadette Noonan. My pronouns are she, her, and I run kind of a baking business as well as watercolor. I live in Montana, California, but I'm planning on moving to San Francisco to be closer to school and work.
What made you want to start this baking business?
It was always my mom's business. She started with my aunt. It's called Golden Gate Confections, and we make Irish shortbread, homemade recipe. And she, yeah, she, she started it with my aunt, and we had our cookies in stores for a little bit. We had them in some organic places, but we kind of let it go over the years, and just recently I've kind of teamed up with my mom as well as my aunt to kind of revive the business.
Has the pandemic helped your business at all?
It's helped in some ways because I feel like a lot of people are now more on social media, so we post on Next Door Neighbor, and there's just a lot of neighbors who help support us and support the business. But I do think it's affected it because sometimes people don't want to drive all the way over here to pick up cookies. They usually want them delivered, that sort of thing. Um, but with the pandemic in place, we do have precautions and everything. We tend to do non-contact drop-offs and pickups, so that's helped. But yeah, just a lot of good neighborly vibes. Recently with the business, people just wanting to support smaller businesses and people who are just trying to make it through the pandemic.
Do you think if there was no pandemic, would you still be baking?
I think so, because I've always been interested and I've always been involved in the cookies, and I feel like it was just natural that over time I'd kind of just become more part of the business.
You mentioned you do watercolor. What inspired you make you do watercolor?
I was actually just going to take a watercolor class for college uh, just to satisfy some requirements, and and I just kind of really fell in love with it. I've always liked painting, but I haven't really ever kind of I've never really dove into the watercolor world, and I just like how calming and peaceful it feels, and I like how flexible the colors can be sometimes. It's a type of art that requires a lot of patience and a lot of concentration, because sometimes those colors don't fully work out with you. They can dry up really fast. But overall, I just really like the vibe of watercoloring.
Would you want to be a watercolor artist in the future?
I think I definitely want to continue painting watercolor as kind of a side job. I have a lot of other interests, so um, I feel like I wouldn't want to put all of my energy into just, being a watercolor artist, but I do consider myself a watercolor artist as just like another part of me, my whole persona.
Do you think not many people know about watercolor?
I think people don't understand how uh, hard and complicated it can be and how much work it can take. It's not as easy as it may look on camera. Um, there's a lot of understanding regarding just water properties, brush properties, um, and how the paints flow. There's just a lot of technical details that I think are overlooked by just kind of the general public.
How long do you usually watercolor for, time period wise?
I kind of I It kind of just depends on the day and the mood I'm in. Sometimes I'll go for a couple hours, and sometimes I'll just do a little bit here and there, um, just depending on how I'm feeling, how the vibe feels. Um, so yeah, it really just kind of depends.
Would you ever sell your watercolor paintings?
I think I would. I don't think I feel fully. I don't feel fully confident right now in all of my work and all of my techniques, but I have gotten a lot of positive feedback, so I think in general in the future I probably would try to sell some prints.